your house, and your people. And so I pray, Yabarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Yoher Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, may the Lord lift up his face upon you, gracious unto you. Yisai Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. May the Lord lift up his face upon us all and grant us good health, long life in these times of World War III of the COVID virus. Please watch over and keep our most precious and vulnerable, our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And bring us to peace with one another, with nature, within ourselves, and with you. Amen.
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 Continue with the memorial.
Oh, no. What? You want to be a part of this now or what?
I'm gonna go, yes.
You didn't have dinner.
At this meeting, we remember those of our temple family who passed away during this past year. Barbara Feldman, Faye Cordell, Ida Shamovitz, Barry Sussman, Roger Harvey, Stanley Coppolo, Alexandra Bostein, Seymour Franklin, Dr. William Greusser, Joel Silver, Wayne Price, Betty Ann Kahn, Martin Brownstein, Marvin Lanter, Eleanor Lanter, Alice Fiden, Stanley H. Levin, Melvin Lantner, Linda Goldberg, Grace Goldberg, Dr. Albert Levison, Joseph Taub, Helen Sommer, Seymour Jerome Berman, and all others who we now remember. May their souls be bound up in the bond of eternal life. I ask the cantor to sing the Omali Rachamim, following which time we'll say the Kaddish together. Remain standing.
מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המציין מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השינה. במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כי זור רקיע מאזירים, לשמת יקירנו, שלחו לעולמם, בגן עדן. תהא מנוחתם. לכן בעל הרחמים ויסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, בצרור החיים את נשמתם, אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבם, ונאמר Amen.
O God, full of compassion, thou who dwellest on high, grant perfect rest unto the souls of our beloved who have departed from this world. Lord of mercy, bring them into thy presence and let their souls be bound up in the bond of eternal life. Be thou their possession, may their repose be peace, and may their souls, their lives, their mission on this earth be bound up in the fabric of our being, that we may go forward inspired by the righteousness within them to perform righteous acts. In this way, their memory will be for a living and a loving benediction. Amen. Please be seated.
Thank you so much, Rabbi and Cantor. Alan Krim, will you please take the floor in reference to the budget, please?
Thank you, Doug. Everyone should have gotten an email with the budgets. I sent you earlier this week the new budget that's trying to be voted in and the old budget. Plus, we have the financials for May that was also included in the email today also. And we're looking to vote in to vote on this new budget. And a couple of noting items that should be, I put in yellow and highlighted them. Those were the changes that were from last year to this year. But a couple of things should be noted is I dropped membership by almost 15% to $200,000. And again, this was voted on by the officers and the trustees in the last two trustee meetings. plus the officers voted on this. And this was before the pandemic, so we're not exactly sure where we're gonna stand with it, but we still have to move on and hopefully keep everything as status quo as we can. So I try to keep the budget as close as we can. We did cut back on expenses this year. Our deficit was, for this current year, $245,000. I am now anticipating a new deficit for next year of $573,400, which is a huge increase. That's part of the contractual agreement that we have. And I wanted to thank Jim Rotenberg on helping me, and Alan Friedman helping me to create this new budget. And I'm out now. I'm ready for any questions for it. And if there aren't any, can you please go to our website, www.tilny.org, and vote on the budget. Any questions? Okay, Nancy, you have a question?
I guess, could you just clarify the 275 or so to 500, what that's, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to toggle back and forth looking.
The 573 deficit?
Yes,
Okay, the way the budget works is I try to anticipate expenses and I try to anticipate revenues. Again, this was before pandemic and everything.
sure.
And then whatever is left over is a huge minus because of the expenses exceeds our income. And that money would have to be supplied by the investment account. And that's our deficit. Because we're nonprofit, we can't show a profit. So,
Thank you.
that's what is. Last year, there was anticipated of $483,000 as the deficit. This year, it's $574,000.
So Alan, when you said last year it was anticipated to be 483, but the actual was less?
A lot less. One was the PPP loan grant came in.
Okay,
this month, and
okay,
again, membership was higher. I dropped membership down.
okay, I got it. So the deficit was reduced because of the grant, and you are rightly anticipating that in the future we may have fewer members, and so it seems a bigger delta.
Right. Plus, we're not going to probably get another PPP loan.
Sure,
Loan
understood.
agreement. It's right now a loan, and it's booked as a loan, and
But it
eventually
should be forgiven.
as a grant.
Okay,
We've definitely made it a grant. It's going to be, we're going to apply for the grant. I shouldn't say.
got it. Thank you very much.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, can you all please, if you haven't voted yet, can you all go on to the website, www.tilny.org, and vote for or against the budget? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you, Nancy. Next, we're going to have our annual reports. I'm going to start with a few comments.
Could you give that website again, please? It was TI.
Alan?
It's tilny.org.
Thank you very much.
And then scroll down to the bottom and you'll see where it says.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay, any other questions for Adam before I give my annual report? Okay, thank you. All right, let me give my report briefly and then the other officers will give their report. First of all, it'd be a massive understatement to say that this was a very interesting and unique year to be your temple president. I'd like to thank Rabbi Jay and Cantor Galina for helping all of our members through this difficult time. It occurs below the radar, but the Rabbi and Cantor have been providing great spiritual support to our members who have been dealing with loss of family members and illness during this pandemic. I am really blessed with an intrepid team of officers for whom I am very grateful. Dr. Fred, Penny, Ed, Elaine, Alan, Krim, and Amir. Our team of officers are our bridge over troubled waters, and I'm very grateful that they keep my head and this temple above water. Each of our officers brings a unique set of skills, and every one of them has an eagerness to do whatever it takes to help this temple at this challenging time. Our team in the office, Ellen, Teresa, and Alan Friedman, have done an exemplary job keeping our virtual office running smoothly during this pandemic. It has not been easy, but they've done it. We're so lucky to have such a loyal team. As some of you may or may not know, Alan Friedman, our executive director, is having some medical challenges this week. He's being evaluated in the hospital right now, and so he cannot join us tonight, but we are hoping and praying for his speedy and full recovery. And I will be obviously checking on him frequently. Our past presidents and trustees and all of our members have really stepped up this past year to support our temple with their generosity and their hard work on our many committees. I would like to take a victory lap with the Adult Education Committee members for our great program this past year. Alan Krim, Penny, Deanne, Richard Epstein, Alan Friedman, and my sister Diane. They're a creative crew and a joy to work with. A few of the adult education highlights that we hosted before the pandemic included Hummus the Movie, Antique Judaic Evaluation with John Greenstein, Researching Your Family History with Nolan Altman, a book talk about basketball, about the city game with Matthew Goodman, and a great documentary, The Sturgeon Queens, about Ross and Daughters. And then the pandemic hit. When the rest of the country closed down in March, we decided that we would ramp things up and go from one adult education event a month to an event, virtual, but an event every Wednesday evening. Please join us every Wednesday evening at 7:30 on the Zoom machine and experience our dynamic speakers, comedy events, and uplifting cultural programs. If you haven't joined, just give us a try. I think you'll like it. This Wednesday, we're having a virtual tour of the Jewish Museum in the Upper East Side. I would like to give a big thanks to Cantor and Elaine for hosting our weekly Thursday night social happy hour events. When this pandemic started in March, we were all feeling isolated and lonely and a little depressed. And I asked Elaine and Cantor to put something together to raise our spirits, and they sure have. They've been a source of great levity every Thursday night and have created a much needed sense of community and social engagement at this time of social physical distancing. They've brought us together. A big thank you to Rabbi Cantor and Dr. Lewis for our uplifting Friday night Shabbat services and their elegant transition to us having virtual services. It is a great joy to see members and friends attending from near and far. We've had attendees from Tennessee, Florida, Vermont. It's just great. Please join us every Saturday morning at 9:30 for a phone conference with our Rabbi and Cantor for an hour of prayer, Torah study, and a lively discussion of an ethical dilemma for the week. A big thank you to Damien. Thanks to his skill, when this pandemic hit New York, we were able to rapidly and smoothly transition from a brick and mortar temple in Lawrence to a tech-savvy virtual temple serving our members and friends all over the country. Damien's latest accomplishment is setting Temple Israel up on YouTube to expand our reach. A big thank you in reference to the bulletin to Jerry and Alan Krim, Penny Schuster, and our office team, Teresa Ellen and Alan Friedman, for the smooth transition from a paper bulletin to an email bulletin. They did it really rapidly. Jerry and the bulletin team have done a great job keeping the virtual presses going under very challenging conditions with great alacrity. When I started as your president, I was committed to building a bigger tent at Temple Israel to enhance our attendance at all of our events. We started our Friends of Temple Israel email list 1 year ago with 0 people, and now we're up to 160 friends. So please share with me the name and email address of any friend or relative that you think might enjoy one or more of our weekly events. I have a few more serious comments that I'd like to make at the end, but I'd like to give the other officers an opportunity to give their reports. Dr. Fred, will you please take the floor?
Thank you, Doug. You said so much. I can't even imagine what I could say that wouldn't be redundant, but what I would like to say is a big thank you to Damien and the cantor and the rabbi for the outstanding way they created the conversion for the school process, for the religious school and the Hebrew high school, to go on to the internet and continue school without really any chinks in the armor along the way. And again, thank you to the cantor and to Elaine for the beautiful Thursday night programs that you put on. And I don't even know where to begin with thanking the rabbi for the program that he put on last Friday night with the other religious organizations on the island, bringing us all together in such a beautiful way. And everything just went so seamlessly. It's a beautiful thing to see. So when things get tough, Temple Israel can dig down and really do the job for everybody. Thank you all for a great year.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fred. It's a joy to work with you. Penny, would you share some thoughts in your committee report as you like?
Sure, thank you. First, I want to say how happy I am to be part of such an esteemed group. When Doug first asked me to be an officer, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this again, but I'm so glad I did. It's truly an honor and a privilege to work with these special people. I'm particularly proud of our response to the pandemic. Thank you to Rabbi Jay and Cantor Galina for everything you do, and thanks to Alan, Ellen, and Teresa for making everything we do seem easy. This year, I had the honor of overseeing the fundraising and long-range planning committees. As many of you know, our Spring Fling, a special evening of raffles, auctions, dinner, and dancing should have taken place this past Saturday. Hopefully, we will be able to celebrate our beautiful temples reopening and the end of this crisis with a wonderful evening on June 12th, 2021. The long-range planning committee met once right before the quarantine and under the leadership of our beloved Wayne Price. We will do our best to bring honor to his memory when the pandemic ends as we plan for the future. Special thanks to my fellow officers, all of whom are fantastic, and a special shout out to our president, who has led us through these trying times with hope for the future and concern for the past. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Penny. It's a joy. Ed Godley, would you be kind enough to enlighten us? I saw Ed.
Sorry, I have two mouses in front of me, and I couldn't do the mute. Okay. Hello. I don't have a committee report per se, so I'll just make this personal. I guess with your approval, or with your approval, I'll be serving for my second year as a vice president of the temple. I didn't know if I wanted to do this. I didn't know if it was the right thing for me. So I'll tell you that of the seven of us, we don't always see eye to eye about everything, but there's a tremendous level of respect and love for the temple. So even though we may not always want to do things the same way, we always end up doing things the same way because we come to a consensus that this is the best way to do things. It's a privilege and a pleasure for me to serve with Doug and all the other members of our officers. And I really, again, I don't have a committee report, but it's a pleasure to serve you. And if you wish to keep me on, I'll be glad to do so, serving under the auspiciousness of Dr. Doug.
Thank you so much, Ed. It's an honor to work with you. Elaine, would you be kind enough to share your thoughts with us?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So I would also firstly like to thank all of my fellow officers. I don't know if I noticed whether we agree or we disagree, but I know that I extremely enjoy working with each and every one of them. I think that we work very well together. I think we hear each other, and I think we work effectively and efficiently. And I don't even look at it as officers meeting. I look at it as, you know, a night I'm coming to meet my friends. So with that being said, you have been sent my report, but in case we don't read the reports, I'm going to read you my report. Okay, once again, it has been a fun-filled year with many events. The temple hosted many tasty holiday dinners followed by uplifting services. Some memorable ones were Simchas Torah, our new member dinner, Hanukkah dinner filled with latkes and laughter, and Shabbat across America. I think by this time with the COVID, we can't even remember that we had all those fun events at the temple. This year, Temple Israel has been extremely active with many enjoyable activities that included delicious food. Whether it was a dinner, dessert, or simply a simple nosh, we have had wonderful fare from places such as Bagel Boss, Central Perk, and Lido Deli, just to name a few. Unfortunately, our end of the year plans, as we traditionally know them, have been cut short due to COVID virus. But with our strong community at Temple Israel, we have taken our entertainment on the road. We meet virtually through Google Meet and now through Zoom a few times a week. Weekly on Thursday nights, Cantor Galina and I host different virtual entertainment evenings. And although we cannot have our delicious meals in person together, we serve up some mean virtual meals and cocktails, or even at the very least, we talk about our recipes for them. We may not make it back to our sanctuary, I'm not sure when, or even if it wasn't this year, but we still remain united by our strong bonds to our Temple Israel and hope to bring you many more enjoyable evenings. I could not do all of these events without the help from Teresa, Ellen, and Alan, our Supreme Office staff. I would like to thank each and every one of them for their support and help throughout the year and their friendship as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elaine. It's a joy to work with you. Before we go to Amir, Alan, Kim, did you have any other thoughts, budgetary or otherwise?
Yes, I do have some thoughts. I wanted to thank the investment committee of Jim Rotenberg, Alan Friedman, Kenny Shapiro for coming up with the investments with Signature Bank and Craig Spatz and everyone else there. So the investment account is doing quite well with the market going up lately, but there was one day of a hiccup, but it is doing well. And I wanted to thank Ellen and Teresa and Alan Friedman for all their help, and every time I speak to them, it's been a pleasure to speak with them. It's been a pleasure working with you, Doug. This is my basically my my third administration as being an officer, and it's been a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to working with you again this coming year. And Elaine, I'm going to need for you to do the counting of the voting at this point, and then you can turn it over to Amir. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. So at the moment and right now, as we're finishing up, we have a majority vote of yes with 35 members. 35 yes votes for the budget. So the budget is passed.
Thank you, Elaine. Doug?
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Alan Krim. Amir Gar, would you be kind enough to share your thoughts?
Yes. First of all, yeah, I'm very, honored to serve with everybody on this, officers board, and for me, it's a great honor to be involved in such a group of very, very talented, smart, caring people. And I'm looking forward to the challenge that we're going to have with the next year with what we have to do. But I believe that at the end of the day, our hearts and our members' heart is there to be and continue to grow a temple with the challenges that may be coming. And like I said before, I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I'm very, very happy to serve with everybody. And I'm hoping that Alan Friedman will come, soon, and he'll feel better.
Toda Rabah, Amir. Thank you very much. It's a joy to work with you. Mary, would you be kind enough to share with us the nominating committee report?
Well, as you can imagine, this year has been nothing like past years for nominating, or anything else for that matter. Nominating could not perform normal tasks and duties as we would have liked. And at a time when you would be expecting our officers and trustees to be jumping ship, instead, they all stepped up to the plate and have agreed to continue their duties under most difficult circumstances. I am pleased to put before you the 2020-21 slate of offices for your approval. Madam Secretary, do you cast your vote for this slate?
Yes, I cast my vote for the slate for 2020 and 21.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to thank committee members. Although we did not get to fulfill our duties as we would have liked and hoped, and more intense meetings, I hope next year they will all stay part of the committee so that they can see what it really is like to be involved with nominating, which I believe is one of the most, if not the most important committee of this temple. Thank you.
Before we go, for the record, Madam Chairperson, would you be kind enough, just for the formality of it, to recite the names of the officers who our secretary just voted for?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Remaining in the position of president, Dr. Douglas Segan. First Vice President, Dr. Fred Rudin. Vice President, Penny Schuster. Vice President, Edward Gottlieb. Secretary, Elaine Prusak. Treasurer, Alan Krim. Financial Secretary, Amir Gal.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Les. Thank you, Elaine. Mary, do we customarily announce the trustees, or the program speaks for itself?
Jay will, if he's giving blessings, Jay will mention all the names.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, so we did the, Elaine voted. Rabbi Jay, I think you're up for installation of officers and trustees, I do believe.
Again, entering this 19th year as the senior rabbi of the congregation, it is a profound honor to install people who pay us honor, who give of themselves for the better good, to put aside personal needs for the benefit of Temple Israel, which benefits the Jewish people. And so now I ask first the board members to rise as I call your name. Nancy Sverlik, 1 year term, 1 year of 2 year term, Lauren Franklin, 2 year of 2 year term, Dr. Stephen Fishtel, Dr. David Wasser, 1 year of 3 year term, Damian Girolando, Les Martin, 3rd year of 3 year term, Dr. Deanne J. Gerstel, Dr. Mark Joseph, Dr. Stuart Bednoff, Cindy Finkelstein, and Sanford Hutton. Dear members of our Board of Trustees, dear members of my family, I thank you for giving your all to our congregation, that we may go forward from strength to strength. May you find fulfillment through your work and deliberation, and may God bless you and keep you. I declare you installed. Thank you. God bless. Officers to be installed, please rise while I call your names. First Vice President, Dr. Fred Rudin. Vice President, Penny Schuster. Vice President, Edward Gottlieb. Secretary, Elaine Prusak. Treasurer, Alan Kim. Financial Secretary, Amir Gal. Being an officer of a congregation requires a sense of modesty conjoined with intellect, insight, and transcendence. You're all people of integrity, of accomplishment, who have one standard, and that is excellent. You are people who say what you mean and mean what you say, and for that we respect you. Personally, I love you all. Some of you have entrusted your children with me to go off to Israel and to Europe. But you've entrusted your spiritual health and welfare to me at the most joyous times and at sad and profoundly tragic times. So it is with a sense of humility and profound appreciation and love I declare you installed. Mazel tov. God bless you. President of the congregation, Dr. Doug Seagan.
Yeah, I'm here.
Keep standing, Dougie.
I'm standing, Rabbi.
I could see your parents smiling down upon you and saying, they did good. And
I
you
agree.
surely did good. You know, it's interesting. I was reading the list of officers and trustees. I felt I was at NYU. But as a physician, with all the physicians and the people in the medical profession that are serving our congregation, your life is directed by the Hippocratic Oath, which not only says do no harm, but also says do good. It's my Brooklyn accent, excuse me. Do good and heal. These have been most trying times. You have been the healer. You have seen what needs to be done and stepped forward and have done it. You're also an attorney. And as an attorney, you're bound by the words of the Torah, which say, tzedek, tzedek tirdof. Justice, justice shall you pursue. And in all our dealings and in the congregation, it's with a sense of justice, which is based in righteousness, doing what is proper rather than politically expedient. You have guided us. They say the times make the man makes the times. You are an example of both. There's a sense of love going back over 40 years to your family and for you. That is my honor to declare you installed as president of Temple Israel of Lawrence. God bless you. Please address us.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. Okay. Am I off mute? Yep. Okay. In normal times, I would now put on my Pollyanna persona and tell you just how wonderful everything is and how I see nothing but sunshine and blue skies ahead for our congregation. But these are not normal times. And when I think about my role as your temple president, I quickly vacillate from great fear to great hope. One moment, great fear, a second later, great hope. My fear is that this killer virus will return with a vengeance and stricken more beloved members of our temple family. My hope is that we will soon have a safe and effective vaccine. My fear is that I will make the wrong judgment call in a few months as to when we should return to our beautiful sanctuary. And as a result of my judgment call that we should go back, somebody will become ill or die because of my decision. My hope is that we will all be smarter than this very smart virus, and every one of you will encourage me to err on the side of caution. My fear is that each of us will fiercely cling to every detail of our own vision of what Temple Israel should look like in the future, and we will never come together and unite with a consensus. However, my hope is that our common goal to see this temple thrive will eclipse our different ideas as to exactly how that should be done. My great fear is that we will have financially stressed members resign due to the massive economic turbulence taking place in our country. However, my hope is that we will make one thing crystal clear tonight and every day. We must not lose a single member due to economic hardship. My hope is that If you are having a tough time financially this year, you'll reach out to Amir, our financial secretary, and let him work with you on a confidential basis so that you will continue to be a member in good standing of this temple. My great fear is that we will listen to all the naysayers and all the chicken littles who go around this temple community chanting that the sky is falling. However, my great hope is that we are now going to be smart and strategic. We have a chance during this awful pandemic to now build on the remarkable engagement that we have seen over the past few months at our Friday night services, Saturday morning Torah study sessions, and at our many uplifting programs. My great fear is that I will not be wise enough to know how to navigate our temple ship through all the uncertainty of the upcoming year. However, my hope is that each of you will commit today to making sure that we thrive in spite of all the challenges that we are now facing. With your hard work, your generosity, and your engagement in our many programs and services, this upcoming year will prove that my fears are greatly exaggerated and my hopes are totally justified. Thank you, and please stay safe. Rabbi Jay, your floor, please.
Thank you. Before I present my report, I ask everyone to rise. I want to offer a prayer for healing for Alan Friedman and all who are in need of God's help and comfort. Shabbat Yaakov, Heavenly Father, we beseech you to watch over your servant Alan Friedman, all the members of our congregation and family members of our congregation and friends who are near to your help and comfort. Heal them in body, heal them in heart. Heal our strife-ridden nation. And we go from strength to strength. Amen. Please be seated. I feel like the comedians in the Catskills who would begin their presentation with saying, I want to say a few words before I say a few words. So a few words I want to say is this. First, I want to thank Les Martin. You were great in starting off our service on Friday night. May God give you strength for many, many years to awaken us to the call of God. I look forward to joining with my partner on the pulpit. I don't know how I make her look, but she makes me look damn good. Cantor Galena, with David, with Matthew, with Alan Krim, and start work on the high holidays. Bring us into the new year. That is great. Thank Damien for taking someone who saw a Mont Blanc pen as an advanced item of communication and brought me into the 21st century. So I begin. As we join together this evening, our Temple family, America, and the world stands at the crossroads. We are facing World War III of the COVID virus. Our country suffers from systemic racism and inequality to access of medical care. The highways and byways of our cities and suburbs have been set afire by demonstrators, outside looters, and agitators, taking advantage of civil disobedience caused by the murder of yet another Black man, George Floyd, by police, those who are sworn to protect and defend rather than kill and maim. Now, in 112th glorious year of history, we have faced domestic unrest and have come through 2 world wars, but never on the home front. The war we rage today rages in our communities, houses of worship, and our very own homes. The pandemic has cost us dearly. We have lost beloved family members, friends, members of our temple family, and neighbors. The death toll in our nation exceeds by 2-fold the losses of the Vietnam War. To make things worse, the unemployment and impact upon our economy of the COVID virus has led to long lines of people stretching miles at food pantries and other distribution centers by people who in the past gave relief rather than sought it, often waiting in lines for hours, going home to their children empty-handed. It makes you sad. It makes you question about America. But take to heart, we will come through the daunting and terrifying challenges we face stronger than ever. At this time when our mettle is tested, if we do what we have always done, call upon the relationships we have forged and work together and pull together, Yes, these are difficult times, but these are also times that by unity, determination, faith in God and ourselves, we will come through. And by working together, we have not only strengthened our congregation and been there to console the inconsolable in times of pain, we have helped heal our community and our nation. We took the right steps as the COVID virus reared its ugly head. As congregants, staff, and clergy, we did our part to stay in touch by staying safe in our homes while bringing comfort and strength to families who lost dear ones. We'll always remember those who left this life to begin their journey into life everlasting. Their lives and their souls will be bound up in the fabric of our own lives, and we will carry their memories in our hearts for eternity. And we address the plague of racism as we stood up to show solidarity with the African American community, not only this past Friday evening, bringing the three Abrahamic faiths together as one in the cause, committed to take back the moral high ground, to take back the streets and the looters, to take back America with love and understanding from those who thrive on hatred and divisiveness, as witnessed by the birth of the 21st century civil rights movement, which we are in the forefront. Let us not forget that it was Temple Israel with a sign held high by Doug Segan and Alan Friedman as they took the lead in the march against anti-Semitism on Long Island in January. We personally took responsibility to bring out the Jewish community to show that we stand up for our own rights, our own safety and security, and our efforts to help bring out 3,000 of our neighbors of all religions, backgrounds, and nationalities who joined with us, committed to the concept articulated on a beamer by my grandson, Dylan, erase the hate. The African American community, the Muslim community, and all minority communities look to us to reset the moral compass, not only on Long Island, but of America, because that is the 112-year-old history and unfaltering legacy of Temple Israel. I'll tell you a brief story. A former Supreme Court justice was driving in a car past a statue, emblazoned on it with the words, "The past is prologue." The driver asked, "What does that mean?" To which the storied justice replied, "You ain't seen nothing yet." Now, dear friends, looking to the future, when it comes to the team of Makaveyev, Rosenbaum, Freeman, Ellen, and Teresa, and our officers, board members, and each and every one of our congregants, and you, my beloved Temple Israel family, working together with respect, appreciation, admiration, and concern one for the other, you ain't seen nothing yet. Together, we have shown that under the most difficult of circumstances, we are able to stay together and join together in prayer, camaraderie, and commitment to cause. And I must joyfully admit, since we have gone virtual, we have seen a greater participation on the part of our congregation in Shabbat services and Torah study and a wonderful adult education programs on Wednesday evenings, expertly presented by Alan Friedman, our Thursday get-togethers where we lift the glass and play bingo, tolerate each other singing, karaoke, and so many other uplifting presentations by Elaine Prusak and Kanta Makaveyev. Furthermore, last Wednesday evening, we were the very center of bringing together 1,500 leaders of the African American Jewish community and the Jewish community who wanted to hear our voice, a voice of resolve and hope, that together we will eradicate the plague of systemic racism that has been the scourge of our nation since before its founding. Even in these most difficult times, daunting and challenging times, let us appreciate who we are and give thanks to God that we are, as the Torah commands, we must be, a light unto the nations of the world, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, committed to repair this broken world as the Holy would have us to do. I am honored to be a rabbi. Thank you. Thank you. I love with my full heart as we go forward and rebuild our congregation, our community, our nation, and the world. We will stand there together side by side, not giving up until the work is complete. May God bless you and keep you, you and your loved ones, all of us, healthy and safety and secure. Amen. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. Really appreciate that. Before I ask Alan Hartstein for a motion to adjourn, and we have our virtual cheesecake and dessert, does anyone have any questions before we adjourn?
I would like to say something, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you, Les.
Yeah, I would just like to say that we've all been suffering greatly through this pandemic, through the shutdown, through the isolation, and Temple Israel has been a beacon of light for me, for my family, and hopefully for all of us. I think the Friday night services have been outstanding. They've given us hope and uplifted us. I want to express our sincere thanks to Rabbi Jay and Cantor Galina for the beautiful services each and every Friday. It gives us something to look forward to each and every week. Last Friday's service was particularly inspiring. And for anybody in attendance at this annual meeting tonight, if you haven't attended Friday night services, you're really missing a great opportunity. And I just want to thank Rabbi and Cantor again, as well as our president and officers for all that they've done to carry us through this daunting period in our lives. And hopefully we'll go forward and become stronger for it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And
Yes, Elaine?
I'm sorry, just 2 seconds more, because I thank the officers and the staff, office staff and so forth. And I just, as I'm listening, I wanted to also thank, I wanted to say thank you for my program with Cantor Galina. I wanted to say thank you for all the time that I spend with her, and that honestly through this COVID, when we first started, she gave me a purpose to push through a lot of tough situations and tough times, going through this and getting used to this. And to Rabbi Jay also for many phone calls to me, and always being there for me at different times, even not during COVID, but for my friendship to both of them. And I just wanted to give a thank you for that as well. Thank you.
I'd like to say one thing, Doug. I want to thank fellow officers for helping me along with going through the financials. We're going to go through it point by point. And I wanted to thank you guys a lot. And you guys were great working with you. And I look forward to working with you again this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Alan.
Doug?
That sounds like Alan Hartstein. Yes, sir. Alan Hartstein,
I just want to thank the Cantor on behalf of the volunteer choir. I think that she puts in an undetermined amount of effort in helping us and making us appear to sing very well when we are her backup. And without her, it certainly wouldn't be anywhere as close to being as enjoyable as it is. And I just want to say on behalf of the rest of the choir, thank you, Galina, from the bottom of our hearts. You are absolutely spectacular.
We realized during COVID that we don't sing that well.
It didn't take that long for us to realize.
But you can hear yourself?
I didn't realize.
You sound great. You guys, the choir sounds great. Cantor sounds great. If anyone had the misfortune of missing the spectacular service of unity last Friday night, thanks to Damien, it's available on YouTube. And if you want to tell any friends or relatives, it's a great uplifting service we had. And thank Rabbi and everyone involved in putting that together, and Penny Schuster for thinking of it. And it's just a great service. Any other questions, comments before we hit the virtual? One more. Who's that?
Doug, this is Jimmy Schuster. I just want to say a big thank you to all of the leadership here. I personally, like many of you, have Temple Israel has been my spiritual home my whole life, and I just want to say the leadership this year, I feel particularly well connected during these crazy times. And on behalf of the young generation of Temple Israel, I look forward to another 100 years.
Why not longer, Jimmy? Thank you so much.
And as Jimmy stamped,
Nancy,
as Jimmy stamped, I actually
Nancy.
was going to say, all right, as Temple Israel, I have worshipped at Temple Israel for probably going on 60 years, but I haven't been involved. And so as much as Penny and God bless Norman, may he rest in peace, they did so much for the temple. But in the past months, what I've realized is that there is so much that goes on behind the scenes. And so I really have to say hats off, Rabbi, Cantor, all of the officers, everybody who's been involved. There has been so much that has been phenomenal during this awful time. And honestly, you would never find me at a Friday night service because I live in Manhattan. I'm never coming to Temple Israel. But the remote aspect has gotten me so much more involved. And I've always been proud of Temple Israel. But now I'm involved in Temple Israel. And I say hats off to Doug, who actually asked me to become a member. I say, Cantor, what were you thinking when you asked me to do karaoke? But to everybody who has done so much, and I really, as I say, Temple Israel has been part of me for many years, but now I feel I am giving back and contributing, and I feel so good about that.
Thank you so much, Nancy. We're blessed that you are on board the ship more actively. Any other thoughts, comments, questions before dessert's calling? All right.
Mr. President, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Hartstein. This meeting is officially adjourned. Everyone stay safe. I'm hoping to see everybody, help me out here, Wednesday night. We're having the Jewish Museum at 7:30, virtual tour of the Jewish Museum. Thursday we got we're celebrating Dad with Elaine and Cantor at 7:30, and Friday night Shabbat services at 7. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you at the dessert table.
Okay.
Ollie, go to bed. It's past your bedtime.
Hi, Ollie. Hi, Ollie.
Ollie got a haircut.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Cantor.
Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe.
Mary.
Sitting back.
Good night, Ollie.
And what's your stance on school? Who knows where we're going to be in 3 months? No, I'm asking you, knowing what you know today, if we had to open up school, would you open up school in 2 weeks? No.
Mike.
No.
Can I say something about that?
Hold on, let Steve answer.
I think we're on.
Oh, now.
What?
I feel like I'm eavesdropping.
I think they're in a quandary whether to open up.
Oh, the JCC camp. Well, Ollie's camp is going to be open for a month this summer. Right, Day?
6 weeks.
For 1 month?
6
Right?
weeks.
4 weeks?
Where
6
is
weeks.
that? Where is that?
Oh, 6 weeks. I thought it was 4 weeks.
Where is that?
6 weeks.
Rolling River
Oh, yeah. So
in Rockville Center.
East Rockaway.
East Rockaway. Close.
He's
4 weeks. East Rockaway, Rockville Center. You know.
one of
So
those places.
The girls' yeshiva in Cedarhurst is opening their summer camp this year too. They're gonna do it.
They are.
All right.
all right. Let's see. I mean,